Are you curious what new Gen 7 Pokemon are good in Pokemon Go? Today we're going to cover that, timestamps below as always. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are doing well today. As promised, today we're going through all the new Gen 7 Pokemon, which ones are good in the PvP meta and the raid meta. First of all, if you're curious what Gen 7 Pokemon have been released in Pokemon Go and how to get them, I have a 1-minute video describing every Gen 7 Pokemon and how to get each one, so check that out, link below. But we're going to hop right into it, starting with all the Pokemon as raid attackers, which ones are actually good. So right here I have the comprehensive DPS spreadsheet showing every single new Gen 7 Pokemon with their best moveset. If you want to learn how to use this chart, I will link it below. In here, we have every single new final form of the Gen 7s. We're going to organize this by DPS. The best DPS here is we're going to see Tapu Koko, all electric moveset with a DPS of 15. Then Toucannon with a flying moveset, DPS of 14. Kommo-o with Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw, 13. And then below that, it gets pretty low in the DPSs. Honestly, anything under 15 is generally not the most amazing for raid. You can still use it, but it's not amazing. If you prefer DPS times TDO, Tapu Koko and Kommo-o are the only ones that reach over 1,000. As you can see here, really there's not one Gen 7 Pokemon that is really good for raids. Even changing Primarina's moveset to a Waterfall Hydro Pump water moveset, you're still not seeing anything too amazing. 13 or around 14 DPS. All in all, they're not really that amazing. If we want to get a better comparison, take a look at like Tapu Koko and Toucannon compared to other flying type attackers. First, we'll do Tapu Koko with the electric. In terms of DPS, you're still seeing Pokemon like Shadow Electivire, Raikou, Zapdos, Megazone, all these Pokemon. Tapu Koko is where? On the second page at the bottom behind like Pokemon like Shadow Electabuzz in terms of DPS, Luxray, Magnezone, really not that strong. If you want to take a look at Toucannon, where are we going to see it here? You're going to see Pokemon Boom, 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 Yveltal, and you're going to see it right here behind Shadow Scyther in terms of DPS, Tornadus, Therian Form, Unfezant, Staraptor, all these low budget flying type attackers, you're going to see this Pokemon. All in all, what you can take away from this is that none of the new Gen 7 Pokemon are going to be strong raid attackers. Maybe in the future, once they get their shadow forms and all the starters get their legacy moves, they'll get a little bit better. We'll take a look at their potential shadow forms and legacy moves at the end of this video if you want to find out some speculation. But in terms of raids, nothing amazing. Now let's get into PvP. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at what Pokemon are good in what leagues. Before we start, I'm just gonna go ahead and knock out a couple Pokemon that really have no potential in any three of the leagues because of their movesets. First Pokemon, unfortunately, is gonna be Decidueye. Learning the fast moves Razor Leaf and Astonish, it really doesn't have any good fast moves in Pokemon Go, making it kind of useless. Even though its charge moves are all right-ish, it's really unfortunately held back by its fast moves. So unless Decidueye gets another fast move, it won't be amazing. Same goes with Gumshoos. Learning Bite and Takedown of its fast moves really doesn't make it good for PvP at all, and you can really avoid this Pokemon. The best PvP Pokemon we're going to see here is going to be Kommo-o. All around, Kommo-o is going to be great. In terms of rankings, you're going to see rank 21 in the Great League, rank 15 in the Ultra League, ranked 6 in the Ultra League Premier Classic, rank 38 in the Master League, and in the Master Classic, you're going to see it ranked 29. Taking a look at it, it's the Great League meta. It has an overall rating of 481, meaning it does win more than it loses, 29 wins and 26 losses. So it beats some of the meta and doesn't beat some of the meta. As far as Kommo-o in the Ultra League, it's going to get better as the leagues go up because it's going to be able to retain more of that bulk, being a pseudo legendary with high stats. 38 wins, 24 losses against the Open Ultra League. Of course, it's going to lose to some Charmers. Finally, against the Master League is probably where it's best going to sit. It's going to have 22 wins to 18 losses. Being a dragon type, there are a lot of fairies that it can lose to in that league. Sylveon, Togekiss, all those Pokemon. But at the same time, there is a lot of dragon type Pokemon, and same goes with like fire and grass types and water types, which being a dragon, it does resist all those types. So Kommo-o is definitely a PvP Pokemon you can get. It's going to run all good in all three leagues. Going to do better in Premier metas, but still a good Pokemon. Next Pokemon we're going to look at is Primarina, which is probably the second best PvP Pokemon. Learning Charm as a fast move. Charm, if you don't know, is like a completely busted fast move, super strong. And for charge moves, it can learn Moonblast, Psychic, and Hydro Pump. It's going to have some decent matchups. It's going to be ranked 138 in the Great League. I don't think it's going to be very good in these lower leagues where the Charmers are better and it can't hold as much bulk. But going into the Master League is where we're going to see it best. Ranked 25, and in the Classic, we're going to see it ranked 20. If you want to take a look at some individual matchups for this Pokemon, it's going to have 21 losses to 18 wins. Of course, in the Master League, there are plenty of Dragon types, so it's going to be beating a lot of Dragon types, as you can see here, you know, Zekrom, the Dark types, Yveltal, Dragonite, the Fightings as well, Machamp. But it will still lose to a lot of the Steel types, for example, Metagross, Melmetal, and the Fire types as well, who resist the Charm. But the nice thing about it is it does have water moves, so it can actually hit these Fire type Pokemon who are resisting the Charm, and it actually could flip this whole matchup as long as you can land a Hydro Pump. That would be the second most recommended Pokemon I would recommend for PvP. The next Pokemon I'm going to recommend is probably Lycanroc in the Midnight form. It has a really good moveset. It has Counter, Psychic Fangs, and Crunch and Stone Edge. So it actually has really good play. I think its typing just kind of holds it back, and its stats as well. It is a pretty frailly defensive Pokemon. As you can see, defense pretty low here, but it is still good, and I think it will have play in special Great League Cups in the future where there's a lot of ice types. Like I could see it doing decent in the Holiday Cup, I believe is a cup where I believe rock types are allowed. around. Definitely be an interesting Pokemon to see. I don't think it's going to be insanely meta, but the Lycanroc in the Midnight form would be one to go ahead and grab. In the Great League, it kind of gets destroyed by a lot of the meta, especially because it's a rock type and there's a lot of counter users right now with Walrein going around, you know, Medicham, Scrafty, all that stuff. And same with the ground types like G-Fist. But, you know, it is still there. It is still to note. And having counter and Psychic Fangs allows it to debuff the opponent while doing big damage with counter. Next up, we have Dartrix, which is actually the prior evolution to Decidueye. Now, funny enough, Dartrix is actually going to be better than Decidueye. As you can see here, it's going to be ranked better in the Great League. But Dartrix is going to be considered probably a spice pick and a pick that you won't be running that much, but having the same moveset of Razor Leaf and Brave Bird, but it also has the option for Seed Bomb being that faster energy charging move. Dartrix will have some play. In the Great League, of course, it is still getting destroyed by a lot of Pokemon, you know, Stunfisk, Umbreon, Scrafty, Sableye, but it still does defeat a lot of those water types we have, Swampert, Azu, and all that stuff. And also on top of that, being grass and flying is a unique typing. It's similar to Jumpluff and Tropius, in which actually a lot of its weaknesses actually become neutral, like its electric type weakness because of that grass type. It still does have a lot of weaknesses, but it is an interesting Pokemon, maybe one you'd consider getting. The second last Pokemon I'm going to talk about is going to be Incineroar, and specifically Incineroar in the Ultra League is probably where you'll run it. It has a really good moveset. You can learn Snarl, Dark Pulse, Flame Charge, Fire Blast. I think people are running Snarl, Dark Pulse, and Fire Blast to have that nuke, but then also have that quick energy charge, because Flame Charge doesn't help it that much since it doesn't have a lot of fast move pressure. It is still a Pokemon you can run. By no means is it meta. It is pretty frail still. It does beat some Pokemon, you know, Jellicent, Cresselia, Giratina Altered. Being a dark type, there's a lot of ghost types, a lot of psychic types you're going to be seeing in the Ultra League. And then also having that fire type is great for like Pokemon like Walrein, which it technically loses to, but if you can land a Fire Blast on a Walrein, you can actually flip that matchup. I think it has really good coverage for a lot of the meta. Being a fire type, you can hit Pokemon like G-Fisk and Registeel. That would be another one I would recommend checking out. Finally, Toucannon in the Great League. Now, it has actually a pretty good moveset, Toucannon. Don't think it's going to be great for the Ultra League, but it can run Bullet Seed, Rock Blast, Drill Peck, which is a decent moveset. Bullet Seed is a really good fast move, charging really quick. I think this will be another Special Cup Great League Pokemon in which you might be able to get some Special Cups, specifically in the Flying Cup. Knowing the move Rock Blast, being able to hit those other flying types will be very useful for Toucannon. I still do think, and I think Home Slice Henry had some gameplay, it is still a pretty frail Pokemon, not really defensive, more attack weighted, and any Pokemon that is more attack weighted will never really do that amazing PvP because it'll be just taking too much damage. Finally, people are going to be asking me, is Tapu Koko good in PvP? Now, it has an all right moveset. Volt Switch, Brave Bird, Thunderbolt would probably be the moveset you want to go with, but honestly, not really that amazing. It's only ranked high in the Master League because there's really so little Pokemon that can actually compete in the Master League. Tapu Koko is just kind of an awkward Pokemon to run because it takes 4 Volt Switches to get to even one charge move. All of its charge moves just take too much energy to get. If we were to get a move like Discharge, maybe it would have a little bit more play. That would probably give Tapu Koko some fun because it does have a pretty good typing. Electric and Fairy only gives it 2 weaknesses and 6 resistances, so that's very good. But I think its movesets are just holding it back, and a lot of these Pokemon, its movesets are just holding it back. So honestly, Tapu Koko is not one you really have to go for. If they give it another moveset in the future, it might get a little bit better, but all in all, Tapu Koko, not really meta in PvP, and as we discussed, not really good in raids. I think that is pretty much all the Pokemon that we can talk about. Comfey, which is a Hawaii exclusive, really doesn't really have that much play. It doesn't have a great moveset at all, so that's one you can kind of avoid, but all in all, that is pretty much it, guys. Your main sticks for PvP are going to be Kommo-o and Primarina, and then if you want to go with some more spicy picks, you can go with Dartrix, Incineroar, Toucannon maybe, and the Lycanroc Midnight. But honestly, those 4 spice picks, I've seen gameplay of it, to Home Slice and Yonkis specifically. They look decent, but pretty tough to run. So that is pretty much going to be it, guys. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys the potential for raid attackers for the starters with their legacy moves in their shadow forms, see how good they can get. What I've gone ahead done here is give Primarina, Incineroar, and Decidueye shadow forms, and then also give them their legacy moves. As you can see here, Shadow Primarina, Waterfall Hydro Cannon is actually going to be probably one of the best water type attackers in the game, although this will be in a super long time because we have to get the community days and we have to get their shadow form. It still does hit a DPS of 20, which is pretty strong for water type attacker. I don't think Shadow Swampert hits that. We have Shadow Incineroar next, Fire Fang Blast Burn, running a DPS of 18,909, and then Shadow Decidueye in the last place with Razor Leaf Frenzy Plant, still a DPS of 17.9, so pretty strong, but not the best. If we were to look at Shadow Incineroar compared to other fire type raid attackers, it is still going to be outclassed in terms of DPS by the Charizard, the Entei, the Moltres, but it is better than the Typhlosion in terms of DPS. The Primarina is going to become, in the shadow form, the newest best water type attacker if it gets Hydro Cannon and its shadow form. Of course, this will be in a really long time, but it is doing better than Swampert by over 1 DPS, so pretty strong there. And then Decidueye is going to become the #1 grass type raid attacker in the game. Razor Leaf, 17 DPS. Shadow Venusaur is still on its tail by not much, but that is just for the future potential. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. Honestly, unfortunately, this round 1 of Gen 7 Pokemon, not amazing in terms of relevant Pokemon, but it is still cool to get these Gen 7 Pokemon. Hopefully we get some move updates for for them soon. I don't know, through special events or things like that. Or maybe hopefully the new Gen 7 Pokemon that's slowly released over the game will be good as well. That is pretty much going to be it, guys. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. Comment below what your favorite new Gen 7 Pokemon is in Pokemon Go, and follow up on tips, everyone. Peace.